This is the Player 4 Podcast. Join us each week as we talk about video games, entertainment, and pop culture, and bring in guests from the Rooster Teeth community. Player 4 has entered the game.
Everyone, get the flip in here. It's another episode of the Player 4 Podcast.
I see what you did there. Hello, I am Tristan, a.k.a. Shagrazier on the Rooster Teeth website.
I am Alex, a.k.a. Chaos Black 21.
I'm Malachi, a.k.a. Suki Kiba.
I saw what he did. I'm Joseph, a.k.a. Jay Dunlap. Remember me?
I'm Joseph.
I'm Deviljho.
Dunlap? I don't know. These sounds are not familiar to me. Are you part of this podcast?
I'm Trolsov Punlap, the secret fourth member of Player 4.
Yeah, you listened enough, so you finally unlocked Joseph.
I'm a
challenger has appeared.
If you know what I mean.
I am certain that I don't.
Hashtag stretch goals.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, man.
So, Joseph...
Hashtag stretch polls.
So, Joseph has been a very busy bee.
How busy has this bee been?
Are you using
B? If busy bee could be B.
But wait, are you using B in terms of like he's a son of a bee, or are you using like?
I don't think we need harsh letters on this podcast. There,
well, like I've been a busy bay.
Busy bay.
Busy bay. Oh, no.
Tristan, what do we have for the
Don't
listeners
ask me to
today?
save the podcast. I'm sinking this ship too. So on the topics, cornflakes for this week, we've got Joseph's MTG adventure, for which he abandoned us, but that's okay. We love him anyway. Alex and Tristan get plane tickets. I feel like this could be a sitcom or like one of those slice of life shows that's just about me and Alex doing stuff together. Tristan gets asked to DM more D&D, Deviljho, and getting the flip out of here.
Okay, that was very odd because looking at this how it's written, because D&D was on the next line, I literally thought it said Tristan gets asked to DM more, and then the next topic was D&D.
It's not my fault. That's
D&D Deviljho.
Thanks, Skype.
You're welcome. Joseph, please, I want to know what it is that you were doing in Austin, Texas, like a couple weeks ago that threw our entire podcast family here into utter chaos.
Was I tearing this family apart?
To the point, you're tearing me apart, Joseph.
I mean, I'm a little jealous because he got to go to Austin a few months earlier than us here.
I mean, he does live only like 3 hours away.
Well, the other thing I have to say is you should never leave us to our own devices, Joseph.
I had to run a 5-question interview.
No, that was great. It was just interesting and funny to me that the first 5 minutes were a talk about snow.
I'm fascinated by the concept of snow because she's from Texas.
I was listening to just the first few minutes, and then I was like, wait, this is the interview, isn't it? It's not the podcast, and they're talking about snow. This is going to be glorious chaos.
Yeah. I am.
But we do talk about we still talked about snow in the podcast, though.
I'm pretty sure every topic found its way in.
Well, yeah, I want to make sure that the other people get to talk about the similar topics so that, you can get kind of similar information from both formats. It's just the 5-question interview format is more concise.
Yes, quite.
Well, you hope it's concise until you get derailed about snow.
Whatever.
So what were you saying?
We got derailed about ruining carpets, and that's not a euphemism.
Yeah. So let's go get back on topic. You were having some adventures in Austin.
Yeah, I just was going to see how long this derail was going to go and run its course. Okay. Anyone who has been living under a rock may not know that I got certified as a level 1 magic judge back in October at a conference, which is twice a year for my region, spring and fall, and this one took place in Ardmore, Oklahoma. I took my test, I passed it, I think I missed 3 questions, and then got my L1 certification. There are 3 levels of judges these days. If you are thinking to yourself, wait, I thought there was 5, welcome to about 3 years ago. I am studying towards becoming a level 2 judge. Now, part of that is there's extra pay. Part of that is I get to work additional events. Part of that is if I get hired, I won't get stuck on just one day, or at least it's less likely, which means double the pay yet again. and then also means that smaller competitive events called preliminary Pro Tour qualifiers, which require level 2s, I can work those as the head judge instead of just being a floor judge. So my training involves passing the level 2 practice exam, which out of a group of us that are going for L2, I'm the only person to actually pass the L2 practice exam on the first try.
So you're basically doing training at the events that you went to recently?
Yes. So basically, from a few weeks ago until a few weeks from now, my weekends have been spoken for. We'll put it that way. So a few weekends ago, I worked on side events, which is regular REL, but good experience nonetheless, with a team of, I think, 5 that includes the team lead, which was actually my mentor. And that was Star City Games Open and Dallas-Fort Worth, or SCG-DFW is the hashtag. The very next weekend, almost just like 2 days after I got home, I was back on the road, drove 5 hours to pick up someone who was going to help me. It was Gina, myself, and my co-judge, Brandon, who we certified at the same time. We all drove a 10-hour round trip, maybe 11-hour round trip north of Dallas to pick up judge number 3 and then drive home. Why? Because the next day, it was a shorter drive from where we live to Austin than it would be if we went to his place and then drove 5 hours down to Austin and were jet lagged the day that we were working.
Well, luckily you had probably Gina to switch out with you.
Yeah, Gina and I switched out. I made Brandon not drive because he's usually the one who drives. We usually take his car. And then on the way back, Mikey, who we picked up, was like, "That's a DVD player. Is that Big Hero 6? I want to watch Big Hero 6.
You got a car with a DVD player in it now, Joseph?
I just jumped a decade with my vehicle.
I know. The last one I knew you had was that Escort.
Yeah, we have an Edge now.
We had a fun time in that Escort.
That Escort.
My
first RTX, if I can diverge for just a second here.
Oh, yeah.
My first RTX was when Alex and I were playing phone tag, and I hung out with Bree half the weekend. Well, I went to pick her up from a press event the day I'm going to meet her, and she's dressed up for this press event. My air conditioning goes out while I'm idling waiting for her.
Oh, no.
It was not the best weekend for air conditioning because, yeah, I can't really fix that during RTX. Anyway, so back to judging. We did the round trip, and then we worked 3 days of South by Southwest gaming, which was Brandon got put on another game that he didn't know anything about, and then the guy we picked up was filling in and helping me out. Just the two of us running basically a junior version of side events. Which is every hour we're firing off a new event of anywhere between 0 to 2 to maybe 14 people. And it's also hectic because there were a lot of games being run and not a lot of room for them. Next weekend, which was this past weekend, we drove to Oklahoma. And that was because another guy who's pseudo-mentoring me was the head judge for a Pro Tour qualifier. And he said, "Come shadow me if you need comp REL experience. And by the way, if you're going to be there, might as well work the event and I'll give you a judge foil because I don't like people working for free." So I worked the PPTQ with him and found out after the fact that was his first time being head judge. And that was my first time being a floor judge. And I think the only person who wasn't their first time was the third judge. To summarize how that weekend went, the tournament report that the head judge wrote started off with the Confucius quote that there are 1,000 lessons in one mistake. And then he proceeded by saying he must have learned about 1 million lessons by the end of the weekend.
Yeah.
It was as he called it a Charlie Foxtrot in our debrief at the end of the day. And he said, "I know you're looking for experience, and I'm sorry that this wasn't exactly what's necessary for you to reach L2. I'm sorry that this was so weird and not a great experience for you as a judge." And I said, "I'm looking forward to the debrief where my team lead doesn't say that." Because it's been 3 weekends in a row of people going, "Man, you have the worst luck." My first event in that string of events was my mentor had never been the team lead of side events before. And the next one was I was in charge of side events. And the next one was I'd never been a floor judge, and my head judge had never been a head judge. So trial by fire.
Trial by fire is the best way to know if you can handle a thing.
So guess what I'm doing this weekend?
So now you're being a head judge?
burning.
I'm driving to Oklahoma for conference.
Again? Back to Oklahoma all the way again?
Yes, I know.
Oh.
It kind of blows.
Oklahoma, where the wind blows.
But
Yeah.
Joseph wants to be a judge.
It's a mini conference for Oklahoma guys, and they were like, we need more people. So Brandon and I, being masochists, were like, okay, we'll do it.
How much extra work is it to get to L3? Because at this point, it's sounding like the bump in pay and the events that you'll be able to do besides regular stuff might just be worth it for all the stuff you're doing to get to L2.
Apparently, L3 is harder than getting your doctorate.
That's so weird.
The interview process is more stressful than defending your dissertation. You sit down in a room of 3 L3s. They know you very well by this point. You've been in L2 for a long time. They proceed to tell you everything that's wrong with you as a judge and as a person.
I like this process already. It's my new favorite process for doing anything.
I love being a judge because debriefs are, how do you think you did? All right, here's things that were good that you didn't mention, and here's some things that were bad that you probably didn't notice. Fix them. And then the next time you work with them, they're like, hey, I noticed that you fixed this thing. Awesome. And so it's a continual process of self-evaluation, being honest with yourself about what about you've probably ignored for years until it became a glaring issue, such as for myself, I need parameters I need to work and clear instructions and a deadline. You give me a job, I will do that job as well as I can. And the other thing is, if I need clear instructions and I don't get them, I feel bad about the fact that I need them, and I feel like I should have already known the thing that I don't know, so then I don't ask.
I might have been taking it more lightly than I should have.
Anyway, I've taken up enough time, and Alex never actually sang the jingle.
Catching up with Joseph.
All right, you want me to do the jingle?
Yes.
Okay. He hasn't been here for some quite. God damn it, no! You're cutting that.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah, he hasn't been here for quite some time. It's catching up with Joseph.
I'm feeling lucky. Next weekend, I actually get to stay home, and then I'm going to Huntsville, Texas, and then my schedule is free for me to start filling it up again.
Cool.
Goodness
Cool.
gracious.
We won't miss you next podcast, though.
I can't think of a reason that I would be gone from a podcast episode anytime soon.
Cool.
Unless I just get sick.
Have like a box of emergency on your desk.
Right?
I'm getting the plague.
All right.
Have
So
you
I want to
tried
hear
not-
about a movie about Alex and Tristan doing things together.
The movie.
Walkus Texas Ranger
Yeah,
all
so
over again?
this was the catching up with Joseph episode, so we're going to fly through the rest of the topics, hopefully. Alex,
Tristan.
fly, plane, got it. So, what did we do, Alex?
We went and bought our plane tickets
Don't
for
make it sound like it's fun or anything.
RTX. Yeah, we bought our tickets together.
Do you hold hands?
Except there's one.
Yeah, you jealous now? Okay.
There's one thing about that is we're not flying together.
No, via the internet.
You guys haven't done this in a while. How much percent homo was it?
82.3 maybe?
I would say at least like 94.6%.
That's not full on homo.
No.
No, it's not
Like
quite.
implied homo.
We were limited by our internet connections.
I'm not.
Yeah, so we got our plane tickets for RTX Austin 2018. That's happening August 3rd through 5th. So I am coming from Missouri, St. Louis, and Tristan, where are you flying out of?
I got my ticket out of JFK in New York City.
Okay, and NYC. But we timed it to where Tristan is getting there just a little after 12, and I'm getting there a little bit just before 1, so he gets to wait for me.
Yeah, just like last time. And of course, I always tell Alex, just carry your bag with you. It's one bag. You put it in the overhead, and then you get off the plane, you take it down, and then you walk out of the terminal with it. And Alex's response every time is that, what? You can't be bothered to touch a bag after you get through the door?
Exactly. Take a look at the shits I've planted and see if are there any? No, there's no shits. I give no shits about this.
Look upon this field and see that it is barren, and know that this is the field upon which I grow my f***s.
How many bleeps do you give?
Yeah, that whole time I was like, I just can't wait to hear the bleep, 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 bleep.
I need to hotkey that.
Gotta macro it.
Yeah. However, last year I technically got there before you and was waiting for you, and then there was the bomb
and then
scare.
Because somebody couldn't be bothered to carry their bag with them, there was a bomb threat called in, and we had to sit outside and wait for an hour until they said it was okay to get his bag.
Yay.
And I was standing there next to him with my bag, like, man, I could leave.
In the heat.
And he was like, sweet, they didn't find the bomb in my bag.
Let's not go there.
Let's not get any like TSA on us and like
the FBI is listening to the Player
FBI. Yeah,
well, somebody's got to.
Who knew that we had so many followers in the FBI?
Well, you know, we got our FBI agents that are listening through our webcams. Remember?
Oh yeah, good thing I don't have a webcam.
I like that whole joke during government shutdowns where your FBI guy's like, "I miss you."
That's the first for me.
I've seen that one. That's good.
Anything else about plane tickets?
Just hopefully that doesn't happen again.
Yeah,
and Tristan will show me riding the bus because I still haven't done that yet. And this will be.
You got $2.50 in your pocket.
How many years have we done? Have we gone to RTX now, including attending?
God, this is the 4th year as Guardians, if I'm recalling correctly, and we were attendees 2 years before that. So this will be year number 6.
And every year I have had a different way of getting to Austin, and that's counting like even though I went in cars multiple times, it was different people driving me.
I took the bus every time except for the one year that Joseph came and picked us up, which is the year that last year when we had to wait for your bag.
Yeah.
That's that. We're going to be Guardians. The others were like, yeah, we'll arrive and take off together. We also got our return plane tickets, and so we're going to be leaving around the same time too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to like have a post RTX at the airport party. You know they have an Amy's ice cream in on the concourse. So we're going to go get Amy's.
But we're also going to get Amy's while in Austin.
Oh, yeah. We're going to get Amy's like every day.
I don't know about that.
I'm pretty sure about that. Very confident.
It's going to happen.
Before you move on to the next topic, I just saw something funny on Facebook.
What was it?
Oh, you want me to read it? Okay. So,
why did you?
No, we just want you to bring it up and dangle it there for us, and then not say anything. We're just going to move on.
Hey, I saw something funny on Facebook. Okay, next topic.
Okay, so it says, my neighbor just called me and she's like, is this your chicken in our driveway? Like, who else has a chicken in this neighborhood? Yes, it's my chicken. So I get over there and Kylo Hen is chilling in our driveway eating some specks and stuff. And there's an actual crowd of people around her. And I'm like, hey, sorry, my bad. Let me get her. And they're like, do you need us to call someone? Should we get help? How do we do this? Do you need a net? I'm like, it's a chicken, not a Komodo dragon. So I'm just like joking around. So I crouch down and pat my thighs. And all my chickens are trained to come to me on site because I equal food. And I was like, hey, girl, come here. The chicken comes running over, and this group of adult individuals are staring at me like I'm the Pied Piper or something. And I didn't know what to say, so I just kind of walked back to my yard with a chicken following me. None of them moved or said a word, and I just literally convinced them this chicken's trained like a dog. First reply, your chicken's name is Kylo Hen.
I instantly thought about that, too.
Okay, dank memes is over. Okay,
Dang.
Tristan, something you got asked to do.
I got contacted. I wanted to bring this up because it's kind of interesting. I've been DMing D&D now because I got asked on the RT website via the D&D group there for going on 2 years here, and they're having fun with the story. I got thanked for yesterday's session, so I'm guessing people are still having fun, which is good. Over this past weekend, there is a group I'm part of that, just chit-chat, plays Minecraft and stuff like that. And they'd recently been talking about wanting to get D&D games arranged because, D&D is gaining in popularity like nobody's business lately. So they put out little applications and stuff. And I was like, I don't know. They'll probably have enough DMs. I'll just let them know I have DM experience, whatever. There were so many people in the group, I didn't think I'd be asked. But then at 4:30 in the morning on Sunday, my phone pings and wakes me up, and it's the administrator of the group And it's just a message that says, so, you've got DMing experience in D&D and can do Mondays, huh? I was like, yeah, that's what it said on the application I filled out. We got into like an hour-long conversation about how this was all going to work. So they're setting up this, they want to get all the DMs together and set up a world together, and then all of their games are going to happen on different days, but it's going to be in a persistent world. So if one group does a thing, other groups that meet after that might see the fallout of their actions. So there'll be weekly get-togethers of the DMs to discuss the things that happen so that they can update the map and all that kind of stuff. So that's the project I'm now part of. I'll be taking on another session of 3 to 5 role players on Mondays at some point, once all the details are worked out. We're still doing the world building right now.
Tristan's going to be a pro L3 DM.
Yeah, I won't have to defend my dissertation or anything. I just go in there and tell them, this is how I do it, and then leave.
I guess I'm going about this wrong.
You get a mic drop like a boss.
I do pride myself in my tableside manner. They're more likely to even call you over in the first place if they know you and trust you, and they know you're around and you're going to help them. In fact, the documents say that you want them to believe that calling you was a good idea and is the best thing they can do.
Well, then no one's going to be calling Tristan that.
Right. You'll just be like, here's what I do. Mic drop.
I mean, you seem to be unaware that Joseph is the best thing that could happen to you at an MTG game.
Unless you're playing against me.
Then he's just going to drop a lantern on your face.
Lantern? No. Now it's a big fat blue robot.
I'm not sure which blue robot that is, but it can't be as good as Lantern.
When you play him, you get to replay a spell from your graveyard.
Oh, that's mean.
That is...
Yup. And then he's huge. He's a 5/6.
Just keep dropping Armageddon.
What mana cost, though?
4 a blue and a blue.
That's
so
not
6.
bad for... You get a free spell without paying its cost.
Well, that's why it's a $20 card.
No kidding. All right.
No
talking about big old monsters dropping.
We excavated the crap out of that thing.
Let's talk about some guy named Joe.
He's a
Is
devil.
it you?
No, it's Deviljho.
So you.
Howdy, y'all, Deviljho.
So he was actually released, and I got to fight him.
Wait,
I like how he's saying that it was actually released. Like, he wasn't sure if they were actually telling the truth that they were going to release it, but they did.
Well, you know games lately. It's just like, yeah, we have this thing, and it's coming out.
We might do it.
We need a jingle.
Like Kingdom Hearts.
Malachi Splooge. It's about Monster Hunter.
Hey.
Monster Splooger.
I like cracking monsters' skulls with my weapon. There's nothing wrong with that.
Are you using a dookie sword?
Malachi, how's it going with Monster Hunter?
I don't bathe in the blood of my enemy and then wear his skin.
Yes, you do. That's the point of the game. I don't know much. I know that.
I still quite much enjoy it. I have sadly been neglecting it a bit just for the fact that when I do play, it's late at night and it can't really be loud at that time. So I kind of have been not doing it because my TV I can't wear headphones with, so it kind of makes it hard to really enjoy and immerse myself when I have to have it super quiet. But I did fight Deviljho. He's pretty intense. He's freaking huge. I've heard from everyone that has been able to, you have to get to a certain rank to fight the tempered version of him, and right now that is probably one of the hardest content in the game at the moment, is tempered Deviljho.
He just comes in and kicks your butt.
Oh yeah, well the original, even before you get his quest for him, you have to randomly encounter him on the map. You don't even get to say, "Oh, here's Deviljho mission, go do it." No, you're in the middle of mission, and it's like, "Hey, what's going on, bro? I'm gonna eat your monster, and then I'm gonna eat you. Be right back."
Go back to eating your monster.
He actually, Basil Geist, or some people call him Beetlejuice. He was the equivalent.
I am the ghost of spices.
He
beware my basily leaves.
I probably am saying it terribly wrong, but it's pretty much that. And that was basically Deviljho's equivalent in the game. And when I first saw Deviljho, he smacked the snot out of him. Deviljho's like, I'm going to eat you now.
So you didn't get to kill Basilgeist, and then he turned and murdered you, I hope?
No, I killed Deviljho and then I left the mission. Because it was.
I was hoping you were going to tell me you got to flip out of there because he's scary.
I did. I killed Deviljho and then I got to flip out of there.
Because another Deviljho was coming.
Double Deviljho.
Double Deviljho. There's 3,842.6 Deviljhos in this mission.
In one of the older games, there was a variant called, I don't think it was Furious. Was it Raging Deviljho? He was just basically angry all the time.
We're renaming him to Satan Joseph.
So yeah.
Hey, what? I looked up from my phone in time to hear my name.
I like that looking around affected your ability to hear.
You never turn off your music when you're trying to find a house?
What?
What?
When you're like following directions on Google Maps and then you turn off the music so you can look better?
I
understand the concept of helping you focus better, but no, I don't generally do that.
I think it's funny that is like is a thing that a lot of people do. I think it's funny.
Because their brain is going to be distracted by the music otherwise. It makes sense. It's just not something that I can recall having done.
Have I successfully derailed the podcast?
Yeah, we're done.
Well,
that's my revenge.
Just to sum up real quick, Deviljho has been added. They are in spring going to be bringing back all the event quests in one big clump so people can get stuff if they missed anything. It's going to be a pretty eventful spring for Monster Hunter, so look out for stuff if you play it.
Looking out for stuff. All right, well, there we go.
For anyone who might be confused about something, maybe they haven't heard me on the podcast much, the reason that I'm being kind of a turd is because usually I'm the one who has to keep everything together while they act like turds, and I've been gone for so long I want to act like a turd.
I think we're supposed to all get to be turds.
That's just our thing, right? Yeah. What was it? Irreverence, irrelevance, something else. I forget.
Irreverence, irrelevance.
One of our mottos. Okay, well, speaking of, I found a dank meme. On Twitter, and there's a Twitter account called Esports Seinfeld, and they take pictures of Seinfeld doing stand-up, only they change it to be him talking about esports. And there's one where it says, "Can you believe it? 2 League of Legends pros getting out of her racist comments in one day? Imagine Riot coming up to you and said, 'We'll pay you to play video games for a living. Just show up to your games. Oh, and don't say anything racist in solo queue.' Gosh, that sounds great, but I don't think I can swing that last part."
You would be impressed how many people just can't handle not being allowed to be racist. It's so weird.
It's terrible.
Yeah, First Amendment allows me to say whatever comes to my mind. Well, yeah, it means the government won't arrest you.
Doesn't mean anybody else has to listen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's pretty funny and ridiculous and true.
I love parody accounts of Seinfeld. There was one for a while that was about magic. It hasn't posted in over a year, but there was some funny episodes that were totally realistic to Seinfeld. Like Kramer wins a tournament without ever playing a game.
Don't all jump on that one at once.
Yeah.
Right?
Anyways, all right. Okay, so good night, everyone.
So for context, Context Gathering is a game that you play to win. And Kramer, never mind. Okay, good night, everyone.
Hashtag goodbye.
Malachi.
Good night.
Goodbye.
Oh, jeez, you guys.
I'm going so bad right now. I mean, I didn't respond to the Kramer stuff because I was actually actively trying to find. I thought we had a thing on our drive where it listed all of our ideas for T-shirt ideas. There it is. I found it.
I don't know Kramer enough to realize the joke, or it was kind of over my head.
It was the same as the freaking MTG show you guys watched. I forgot what that was called. Mana Screwed, where he didn't know how to play. He'd never played before, but he understood like logical math numbers and was just like, you should play that card with that card because that's what it says on it.
Okay.
Before irrelevance, irreverence, irresponsibility.
That's it. Thanks to the following patrons for making this video possible: Support us at patreon.com/player4podcast.